right?
Well, maybe we can go into this a little bit further because I think you raise a really, really good point, and perhaps it doesn't get touched on enough, especially
Mhm.
us working where we do. Fitness coach, you're supposed to again exemplify this life that's, you're exercising all the time, you're eating, very, very
Mhm.
clean, like no junk food and stuff like that, and it gets to you, they because we're human and we have those moments where we do want to relax and chill out and maybe not take things as seriously. So you kind of have, again, this public persona of being the
Mhm.
self-improvement individual, but actually sometimes behind the scenes, like you do take a rest day. Like even today, like I was little bit burnt out, so I just took a nap, and
Mhm.
all these other guys are pulling their hair out. So talk to me, Raj, a little bit about not just ourselves, but how important is balance in a man's life between work and play?
Yeah. So one, I don't think there's one right answer to this question, right? No one can say, oh, this is the perfect work-life balance. You must work for 7.5 hours a day. You must sleep for 8.3 hours a day. You must
Right.
spend 1.6 hours with your family. You must, no one has the answer,
Hmm.
right? And a lot of it's going to be dependent on personal situations, right? So number one, the more you like your job or like your business or like your mission, the more you're going to work on it, right? If you're working a job for the sole reason to pay your bills and survive, you're not going to want to do any extra work than what's required. If
Sure,
you're working on
sure.
your craft, your business, or whatever to, change a billion lives, to do this, to build a $1 million business, to achieve something, right? You're going to look at every hour, all the time you spend not working on it as time that could have spent working on it, right? So that doesn't mean you want to spend 24 hours a day on it, but it means you're probably going to want to spend a lot of time on it,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
then number three, I think it's like your health and age. So someone who's 57 and morbidly obese is not going to be able to work as much as me, right? Without having the same consequences. I'm 23 and I'm in good shape. So like obviously like the younger you are and the better shape you are, the more you'll be able to demand from your body, right? And then the more your habits and routines are in place, the more you'll be able to get away with overworking. But I do think, everyone should have at least something besides work that gives them some sort of joy or some sort of enjoyment. So, but isn't something that, ruins or lowers your quality of life.
Hmm.
So that's tricky. And a lot of times for, entrepreneurs or high level achievers, they just have these like random hobbies, or it could be like something more expected, such as like
Hmm.
health or like MMA, combat sports,
Hmm.
right? Or just like some guys just really like cooking, or I don't know. But I
You got to
think a lot
find
of
your
it,
muse, don't you? You got to
exactly,
find what speaks to your soul in that way.
exactly, man. And
Mm.
like no one can really help you figure that out besides you, besides
Mm.
just trial and error, uh, seeing how you like to spend your time, seeing what types of activities drain you, what types of activities give you energy, and a lot of times
Mm.
like seeing like what people similar to you, or like where they usually like hang out, in sense of like, let's say you are 23, just dropped out of college, and you're 23, just graduated college, and have been doing business for a year, right? So then you can look at like where people like you, what do they usually do? From my
Mm.
experience, a lot of young entrepreneurs, they love combat sports, right? So you could go to like a combat sports like club, or like join them, and I'm sure you'll meet a lot of cool guys, right? Like,
Mm.
and you can like, another one like for older, maybe older guys, is like golf, right? Golf is something where you can like,
Yeah, these are great shouts, Raj. These are
yeah,
great.
I got you.
You know how to network, boy. You know how to
Yeah,
network.
man. Off the top of my
As
head, man.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. I hadn't even considered golf. Golf. That's a good shout. There's a driving range actually just outside my town, so I might have to hit that place up. But
Run it
I
up,
I
bro.
I I think yeah, that there's a couple of things that really speak to me there. One I just want to give my comment on, and then one of the ones I want to go back to. But I think you do have to have you do need to do a lot of exploration. Like I feel most
Mm,
men are very kind of comfortable in terms of what they like, and they kind of they have like one thing, and it'll typically be
mm,
something very, very shit, like video games. Like I play video games. Like I'll play like FIFA now and again because I just love football. But like some guys who, again, they'll spend like 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours,
mm, mm,
playing that shit, and that's that kind of the thing. But there's something I discovered very recently, probably in the last like 2, 3 months, is like bouldering and rock climbing. There's a big
Bro,
like
I
bouldering and rock climbing center where I
mhm.
live, and I just went there, and there's some really cool people that hang out in the places.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
looking women as well, very good looking women.
yeah.
So and it was one of those
Mm,
things. I was like, how the fuck did I not like know about this?
mm.
You know? So you got to kind of like tie those kind of bits together. Have you done bouldering before or?
Yeah, I actually did it with you know Rob Ricker on Twitter.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Robert, yeah. So I actually met up with him in Austin. We hung out a bunch of times, got a few workouts in, you know, ate some good food. We played rock climbing or did rock climbing and played ping pong.
Hmm.
It was hard, man. Like it doesn't
It
look
is.
that hard. Like it looks easy, but once you do it, it's humbling. Like the first
Mm.
time, like even like the moderate and like easier climbs were still pretty tough.
Yeah, man, and that's also I think part of why again I go every week now. Like I'm really
Yeah.
into it. Like I'm one of the guys there now, because it's not just a physical thing. Like it's a
Mm,
mental thing. It's like there's not one correct way to climb the wall. There are like
of
seven,
course.
or even more different ways. Some people like move momentum. Some people like already know the plan before they've even started, and it's just a
Mm.
case of like executing it. I'm just an absolute ape, and I just use all my upper body strength and just try and like pull myself up. But there's some people who again maybe don't have as much muscle bulk, and they're just very flexible, and again they can
Mm.
just use momentum, and it's some people just look so fucking graceful doing it. And those are the guys I'm really envious of. But I'll get there.
Yeah,
Um,
bro. I mean, like, dude, there was like one guy when I went rock climbing who's like really good, like giving me and Rob some tips. So we like started talking to him. He's pretty jacked too.
mm,
And we're like asking him like how long he's been rock climbing for. He was like 3, 4 years. Right. So it's
damn.
like, yeah, like
Mm,
anyone who like does or like commits to a craft for years is just gonna be, you know, pretty top
for
class of
sure.
it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I love again the learning curve to it. Because for
Mm,
guys who are maybe listening to this and laugh and saying, what the fuck are you talking about? Rock climbing. This is like kid shit. This shit is hard, man. This is hard
mm,
as hell. I pride myself in being fairly athletic, and I think most new things I would have like a good honest go at things. But man, I was getting they were like like girls, the kids were doing the shit better than me. Just flying up that shit, man. I'm just there like like hanging on with my pinky thing, just trying to get to the next step.